think the venture ecosystem today is a very different one that used to be 10 or 20 years ago. And what worked very well at that time, from a local government point of view or a local city point of view, is simply not working today anymore. We need something else. So I think it's not only an information gathering issue, it's information analysis issue. Do you have the right people to understand the facts that you get? That's just a small take on that. Paul, anything?
No, I think Fabian and Alexandra made some great points there, and I think, and to your point about people don't always understand the answers, keeping it very simple and short, when decisions are politicized, all sorts of different influences can affect those decisions. So generally, I think less government is better than more.
Okay, so less is more. I would actually like to say exactly the opposite. Exactly the opposite. We need more government. The reason I'm saying this is because all of us are not competing with each other. Israel is not competing with the UK. If that's the case, then we'll let the people. We compete with China. And in China, the government makes the decisions. And Singapore makes the decisions. And they actually can make decisions. And they gamble in big ways on big bets, and that's how they conquer the world. Today, Tencent is better than Facebook. WeChat is better than WhatsApp because of the protectionism and the technology and the investment, etc. If you want to go and look at the next wave of digital technologies, you go to China. You don't go to the US anymore. You don't even go to Israel. Tencent 20 years ago stole ICQ from Israel. They had a QQ. But since then, Israel is still in QQ, and they're already in WeChat. So I think the only mechanism, and frankly, this globalization is killing everything, if you think about it. The only entities that care about location are governments, because entrepreneurs don't care, they move out, VCs don't care, limited partners don't care, they put the money all over the world. So who cares? Who's left? Only the governments. So the governments must act. Whether they can act is a different story.
Whether they can act effectively.
That's another story.
And
I mean, the fact that the observation that we have now, that most of them do not act efficiently, does not mean necessarily that they should not act.
And I think, to take China and Singapore, these are very, very different political systems.
Yes.
You can't, we're talking about cities and that, you can't revolutionize the whole political system to that end in the West. So I think you've got to work with the system you've got. And I think government's role should be...
I think it fixes itself with Trump.
We probably need another panel to discuss that. But I think, government's hands should be, a light hand on the tiller, encouraging, private players to go in the right direction. Yes. And maybe tax incentives work sometimes and that type of thing. Yes. But yes. You can chuck a lot of money into things and actually get...
Yeah, but I don't think it's about money. I think it's about policies. In fact, I don't think the world does not need more money from governments. It's the right. I think it's the right policies. That, yeah. It's basically. I often talk about the visible hand should enable the invisible hand. So when you create markets, then you are able to create competition, etc., for the private sector to come up. I think that would be my hope. But that takes a really a different level of leadership, I think, that is still missing among all of us, I think.
Yeah, but just one final. I mean, you can talk about things, but actually putting them into practice is a challenge. So I think not every, but many of the states in the US have tried to replicate Silicon Valley.
Yes.
And if you look at the share that Silicon Valley holds of total UK VC investment, I think 10, 20 years ago, it was around 50%. What is it today? About 50, 52%, yes. At least it was when I last looked. So whatever the others have done, they haven't really eaten into the Silicon Valley, yes. Just because people get good at stuff and they stay ahead. So.